for Brooklyn Dodger baseball.
Light up a lucky, it's baseball time. Be happy, go lucky, it's Dodger time. Settle back in your chair, there's baseball in the air right now. It's Dodger time.
Well, thank you, Dorothy Collins, and hi, everybody. This is Vin Scully, along with Al Helfer and Jerry Doggett, here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, where we're about to bring you the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates in their holiday doubleheader. Today's games, like all the Dodger games this year, will be brought to you by Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. And the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. Friends, this broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Brooklyn National League Baseball Club Incorporated, solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Brooklyn National League Baseball Club Incorporated is prohibited. Well, on Memorial Day, we certainly hope things are just fine for you, wherever you may be. Get yourself a nice, cozy corner, light up a Lucky, and just spend the afternoon with us. If you want to kick off your shoes, well, you go right to it. It's your day. And for you folks who might be listening and at the same time having to work today, well, we'll try and lessen the burden and get your mind off some of the big problems and concentrate on what happens with the Dodgers and the Pirates. In the first game, it will be Sal Magley and Vernon Law. Magley is 1-1 with the league, 1-0 against Pittsburgh, and lifetime 23-5. Magley's last start on May the 10th, when he lost on a Friday night to Ruben Gomez at the Polo Grounds 2-1. He has pitched only once since that time, 2 innings in relief. In his only game against Pittsburgh this year, Magley was very good. He pitched a complete game 6-1 victory. And as we said, he has a 23-5 lifetime record against Pirates. For Sal Magley, this Memorial Day, he has many a memory, of course, in his long and illustrious career in baseball. And Magley can just look to exactly 1 year ago today. He made his first start for Brooklyn, pitched 4 innings at Philadelphia with no decision. So Sal Magley warming up right now for Brooklyn, and for the Pirates, Vernon Law. Law is 2-1 against the league. If you remember, he started against Brooklyn back in April, pitched only 1 inning due to a pulled muscle, then had to give way to Bob Perky. And Perky went on to pitch a brilliant ball game. He needed some relief in the 9th inning, but Perky got the win. We'll see Bob Perky in the second game today. As far as Law is concerned against Brooklyn, in 1956, he made 5 unsuccessful starts against the Dodgers and lost 3 times. His last win against Brooklyn in July of 1955, and he defeated Brooklyn 4-1 here at Pittsburgh. Law 2-1 with the league, no record with Brooklyn this year, and lifetime 5-7. This will be the 10th meeting between the two clubs. The Dodgers have taken 5 out of 9. However, here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the Pirates have done very well against Brooklyn. They have taken 3 of 5. So this will be the 10th and the 11th meetings between the two clubs on this Memorial Day, marking the halfway point in their own private duel during the year. 22 games played, and they will have gotten 11 down by the time the sun sets tonight. For the Brooklyn lineup, the Dodgers, having won yesterday 1-0, now trail the league-leading Cincinnati Redlegs by a game and a half. For Brooklyn, Jim Gilliam leads off at second base. Gino Cimoli in left field, and Duke Snyder batting third and center. Carl Perillo in the cleanup spot in right. Gil Hodges at first base. Roy Campanella back of the plate. Pee Wee Reese at shortstop batting 7. Don Zimmer at third base, and the pitcher Sal Magley. If you notice how quiet it is here at the ballpark, the entire crowd standing now as a prayer is being said on this Memorial Day. However, the ceremonies are so far away from our microphones that we cannot pick them up. So if you wish on this special day you have certain people that you'd like to remember in your prayers, or this might be a very good time for you to just take a minute out now and think about them and say what you wish in your mind. It has been done here at the ballpark, and the crowd now settles back and waits for the color guard, and we might very well have the national anthem at any moment. Until we do have the announcement, however, we'll continue now and give you the Pittsburgh Pirate lineup. For the Pirates, Bill Mazeroski opens up at second base. Steve Fondy batting second at first, and Bob Clemente will be in right field batting third. Frank Thomas, who kind of wore the horns after yesterday's ball game, Thomas playing first base yesterday, booted a ball that went right through his legs despite the fact he was down on his right knee, and that turned out to be the pivotal play for Somoli got the base hit to drive it in. Brooklyn went on to win 1-0. Well, Frank Thomas in the lineup in the cleanup spot will find himself in left field, at least for this first game. Gene Baker will be at shortstop, Gene Freese at third, Bill Verdon batting seventh in center field, Hank Foyle's the catcher, and Vernon Law the pitcher. 2-1 with the league, no record with Brooklyn, lifetime 5-7. A note came out of yesterday's ball game, which we'll pass along to you, and since we were talking about the play concerning Frank Thomas, let's go back to it. No score in the ball game in the eighth inning, and with 2 out, Jim Gilliam hit a bouncing ball to Frank Thomas at first. He went down on his right knee, tried to get his glove down to the ground. Somehow the ball squirted through and went on out into right field for a 2-base error. Then, Gino Somoli hit a big high bouncer over the mound and back of the bag at second. Bill Mazeroski went over and tried to make a stab at the ball, just missed it by an inch or two. It went out into center field, and the Dodgers won it 1-0. When the ball game was over, Bobby Bragan held a meeting in the Pirate clubhouse, locked the door, and here's what he said to the boys in substance. I don't mind a man making an error, especially Frank Thomas, whom I could tell right away had in his mind the one thing I'm not going to do is let the ball go through my legs. As we said, Thomas went down on his right knee and tried to block the ball. Nevertheless, it did get through. He said, but what I do mind is when a ball player does not think. And then he turned to second baseman Bill Mazeroski. And he said, you, Bill, with a situation like that, with a potential winning run at second base and 2 out, on a bouncing ball so close to you, had you thought earlier, you should not have just tried to strain and grab the ball. You should have at least dove at it and knocked it down. If you had knocked it down, which would have been an easier play for you, you might not have gotten the batter, but the run certainly could not have scored. And so, Bill Mazeroski, I fine you $25. And that's what happened yesterday. A painful defeat for Ronnie Klein. He's now 0-7. A very pleasant and brilliant victory for Johnny Padres. The rifle fire in the background, a naval color guard right now, firing off into the sky on this Memorial Day. As we told you earlier, it's not that we're trying to turn our back to the pregame ceremonies. Just the opposite. We'd love to pick them up for you. However, our facilities here at Pittsburgh, which is a rather spacious ballpark, prohibits any clear pickup by our microphones. So we'll just continue and every now and then try and explain what's going on down at the field. As of this moment, the Naval Reserve Color Guard at home plate, along with 6 veterans, and we're waiting now for the announcement. The crowd is standing. There'll be a moment of silence here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Might be a good chance to say your prayer right now. And our national anthem. Today in every ballpark, both major and minor leagues, folks taking time out, and a good time it is on Memorial Day to remember those folks who have since departed and the great heroes who have laid down their lives in all of our country's wars. Now, the Naval Reserve Color Guard starting to leave the field along with the 6 veterans who are out there carrying the actual colors, and in just a few minutes we'll be getting the first of 2 games underway. As of this moment, however, there has not been a pregame meeting at home plate. The umpires are poised on the steps in front of the Pirate dugout. And now they come out. And Pee Wee Reese, of course, will leave the Dodger dugout and bring up the batting card, and we'll have the exchange. So the Dodgers in Pittsburgh in the first game of a doubleheader. The four umpires, Frank Sicori, the plate umpire. The round of applause in the background now as the Naval Reserve starts to march off. Frank Sicori, the plate umpire. Stan Landis will be at first. Bill Baker will be at second, and Frank Dascoli at third. In the second ball game today, Bob Perky and Sandy Koufax, and that should be an interesting duel. Koufax with 45 strikeouts is really fun to watch, for he can rear back and fire. He's tied for the National League lead with Luis Arroyo. Arroyo is due to pitch tomorrow. However, he will be held, I'm sure, for any spot relief against left-hand batters today. As far as Koufax is concerned, he started against the Pirates twice, both in 1955. He pitched the shutout at Brooklyn and had a no-decision ball game here at Forbes Field. He has not pitched at Pittsburgh since losing in relief in September of 1955. And now the Pittsburgh Pirates take the field. The Dodgers have played only one other doubleheader this year, and it was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Remember, they played that one at Brooklyn, where the Pirates won the first ball game 6-3, and the Dodgers came back to win the nightcap 7-4. We'll set the Pirates defensively for you. Out on the mound in this first game, Vernon Law. Back of the plate, Hank Foyle. At first, D. Fondy with a badly bruised hand, but he's in there. At second, Bill Mazeroski, $25 lighter after yesterday's game. At short, Gene Baker, and the third baseman, Gene Freed. In the outfield, Frank Thomas in left, the center fielder, Bill Verdon, and the right fielder, Bob Clemente. Going down to his first base coaching box, Jake Fittler, and over at third, Billy Herman. So we're just a minute away from the beginning of the Memorial Day doubleheader, the Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked, made by the American Tobacco Company, and remember, tobacco's our middle name. Well, Lucky Strike blowing smoke rings to you from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, saluting our honor hospital, the Veterans Hospital at Lyons, New Jersey. So, to all you folks at the other end, wherever you may be, have a great day today. Hope things go just right for you. And now for Lucky Strike and the play-by-play on a big day in baseball, here's Al Helfer.
Thank you very much, Ben. Hi, everybody. Big day it is. And Jim Gilliam steps up, batting at 2.56. Vernon Law, big, tall Pittsburgh right-hander, is ready to go. Kicks off the first pitch, and it's swung on. There's a fly ball hit into left center field. Bill Verdon has gone over. He's under it now and takes it for the out. So the Memorial Day doubleheader here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh has begun. One away in the top half of the first inning, and Gino Cimoli, who has hit at a .400 clip in the 6 games he has played in since his return to the Brooklyn lineup, is coming up to the plate.
The left fielder,
Gino Cimoli, whose bat has really been ripping. Hitting at .336. He has 5 home runs and 16 runs batted in. Needless to say, Frank Thomas in left field goes deep for Gino Cimoli, and the left side of the infield plays deep. Gene Freed just off third base in the event Cimoli might be trying to bunt his way on. Law pitches. The curve is in as it is for a strike. The plate umpire here this afternoon for this first game of the doubleheader is Frank Sicori. Landis at first, Baker at second, and Frank Dascoli, the senior umpire of the group, is down at third. Law delivers a change-up curve. It's outside, and Cimoli's count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Throughout this big afternoon, right from the Lucky Strike scoreboard, we'll keep you advised as to starting pitchers and the progress of the other ball games, both in the National and in the American League. Law's ready again. Delivers. The curveball is in under the letters, right off the hand. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Cimoli. With 1 out, no base runners, top of the first game of today's doubleheader. As Vinny told you, we have quite a day for it here in Pittsburgh. Temperature in the 80s, a lot of bright, brilliant sunshine. Curveball is swung on and popped back to the screen foul. Every now and then, however, a wandering gray cloud comes across the sky and will obscure the sunlight for the moment, but I don't think we need worry much about it. What little breeze we do have blowing in is blowing in from center field toward home plate. Law's ready now. 1-2's the plate. Cimoli leans back. Takes a high curve inside off the chin. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gino Cimoli. He'll be followed by Duke Snyder. And if anyone else is needed in the top half of the first inning, Carl Perillo, the leadoff man, will be up there. Law kicks, throws. Cimoli swings and bounds it in the hole at third and through into left field for a base hit. So Cimoli continues to hit that ball. Gets the first base hit of the afternoon. Bounding single. into left field. Coming up to the plate now with the sun beaming brilliantly is Duke Snyder. Duke batting at 267, has 8 home runs and 17 runs batted in. That's quite a nice crowd at Pittsburgh. It's not a capacity crowd, but there are quite a few people here. Cimoli leads off first. Soft curve expired to Snyder, and he's way out ahead of it. Strike one. Got the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. Snyder waiting. Law checks up with Cimoli at first base. Delivers a play, another soft curve, and Snyder hits this one down to third. Frees up with it. Goes back to Mazeroski at second for one. The throw to first. There's the double play. So we earmark our first 1,000 luckies for our VA hospital at Lyons, New Jersey. Big double play. Erases everything here in the top half of the first inning. Around the horn affair, 5-4-3. So that's it in the first inning. Nothing crossed for Brooklyn. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left on. Score at the end of half an inning, the Dodgers nothing, the Pittsburgh Pirates have nothing.
Sure, light up a lucky right now as we go to the bottom of the first inning. So we had the same kind of a first inning today as yesterday. Both Gilliam, yesterday and today, slide out, then Cimoli followed with a single, and both yesterday and today, Duke Snyder hit into a double play. So the first inning the same. Now to the bottom of the first inning, Bill Mazeroski coming up against Sal Magley. It's been a long time between luckies for Sal. 20 days since his last start, so let's get right back down and find out how he does.
Sal is all ready to go to Bill Mazeroski, who is hitting at 205. He has 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in. Mazeroski, right-hand hitter, stands just off the plate. Curveball to him is swung on and dribbled down the third baseline. Zimmer charges, picks up, throws to first, and Mazeroski is out. Oh, Mazeroski, 1 ball hitting, gives Sal Magley his first out in the ball game. 1 away for the Pirates, last half of the first. The batter is Steve Fondy. Steve Fondy still suffering with a bad right hand, although Baines is well enough now to be back in regular lineup. It's the outside part of his right hand that's been giving him trouble. Magley curves him, gets it over for a strike. Steve Fondy, tall left-hand hitter, batting at 336. Has hit 1 home run, has 11 runs batted in. Magley works to him again. There's that soft curve. Hit down and through the hole between first and second into right field. Fondy is on. Oh, like yesterday's ball game, again, the Pittsburgh Pirates get a man on with 1 out. Roberto Clemente coming up. Yesterday afternoon, the Pirates had Mazeroski ground out in the first inning. Then Freese got a bunt single. Then Clemente hit into a double play. Magley stretches. Delivers a plate. Clemente swings. Hits a long drive deep to left field. It curves foul and goes into the bleachers. Long, loud strike for Bob Clemente, batting at 286. 3 home runs and 19 runs batted in. Steve Fondy stepping off at first base, 1 out, no score. Magley checks up at first, then delivers a plate. Curveball in there for a strike. Clemente started to go and then checked up and took it. 0-2 is the count on the Pittsburgh right fielder. Following Clemente will be Frank Thomas if he's needed. Sal Magley scowling down from the mound, gets a sign from Campanella. Goes to the stretch, sets, delivers a side armor, and trying to get away from it, Clemente steps that ball right back to the mound. Magley's got it, fires to first base. That's it for Clemente, and Fondy moves down to second base. Actually, Bob Clemente was trying to get away from a high inside curveball, twisted all the way around. Well, that's the second out for Pittsburgh here in the last half of the first inning, and the batter now will be Frank Thomas. Thomas batting at 321, 4 home runs and 19 runs batted in. Steve Fondy, who is a great deal faster than one would believe by watching him run, leads off at second base. Frank Thomas, a right-hand hitter, holds that bat way down by the nod, stands off the plate midway in batter's box. Bagley comes in with a crossfire, and that's low and outside. 1 ball and no strike. Lucky strike, very happy to be sending it to you from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Hope you have plenty of luckies on hand for this big holiday and for over the weekend. Curveball, Thomas after it. It's a high pop foul off the third base side. There goes Zimmer over to the roll of canvas, but that ball fades into the crowd out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. You're out driving this afternoon, listening to the ball game at the same time. I hope that your glove compartment contains a carton of Lucky Strike. Number 1 and number 2, that you'll take it real easy. Obey all the traffic rules. Come home safely. Sidearm curveball under the letters good. That's strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Frank Thomas. 2 down, 1 on. DeFondy at second base. There is no score. We're in the last half of the first inning. The Pirates at bat and Thomas up there. Bagley taking time. Hides that ball behind his right knee as he leans forward to take his sign. Checks back over the right shoulder, looking at Fondy at second, then delivers the plate. Curveball swung on, looped out over first base. If that's fair, it's trouble. It's just foul. A looping fly ball, foul by a couple of feet out back of first base where no one could get to it. So Fondy all the way around third, digging for the plate. Has to retrace his steps. Move back to second. Thomas, in lunging on that one, broke his bat. So he's back to the Pittsburgh bat rack to get another one. Bobby Bragan running his ball club from the coach's box at third. Slaps his hands together and wants Frank to get a hold of one. Danny Murtaugh yelling words of encouragement down from his first base coach's box. Now Thomas with a new war club standing in. The count on him is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 down. Fondy at second. Bagley ready. Delivers the plate. Sidearm pitch. That's low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Plenty of baseball this afternoon, all over the major leagues. Bagley blows on the fingers of his pitching hand, sort of a nervous gesture. Now he's ready. 2-2 pitch, sidearmer. The curve is just high. Ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Frank Sikori working the plate here as the umpire in chief in the first game. Looking right over the left shoulder of Roy Campanella. Cappy checking the sunlight. The direction of the sun. Now gets down to pump the sign. Bagley, with a look back at Fondy, who's taking a short lead at second. Now he stretches, set. The 3-2 pitch. In there and swung on. There's a high pop-up in foul ground off to the left of the plate. Roy Campanella sort of toe dancing around under it, and he's got it. So that's all in the last half of the first inning. Thomas, one of the big siege guns, fouls up and out for Roy Campanella. For the Pirates, no runs. They had 1 base hit. They left a runner, and there were no Brooklyn errors. The score at the end of 1 inning of play. It's the Dodgers nothing, the Pirates nothing.
The big thing all of us have been waiting for is help from Duke Snyder's bat. Duke has never been a good spring hitter. I can think of only 1 season in which Duke got off to a good start in the spring. However, in the last couple of games, the big guy has come alive. In Philadelphia on Monday night, hit one of the longest home runs of his career. And on Tuesday night in Pittsburgh, Duke got 3 hits. Yesterday, Duke didn't get any hits, but he did hit the ball well that went for outs. Luckily for us, we have been going pretty good without the Duke's hitting, thanks to Carl Furillo and Gil Hodges. Now with Snyder hitting again, I think we're about ready to make our move.
Well spoken, Captain Reese. Say, friends, have a suggestion for you before we focus back on the ball game. Friends, light up a Lucky and enjoy the genuine pleasure of a genuine cigarette. You'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. No score on the ball game at the end of 1 inning. Carl Furillo is coming up to start inning number 2 against Vernon Law. So let's get right back to Al.
Carl Furillo is still holding down the cleanup spot for the Brooklyn Dodgers, hitting in the number 4 slot. He's batting at .329, has 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. At least for the moment, Carl has lost the leadership in the RBI department of the major leagues, but you can rest assured that Carl will be back there battling for it. Vernon Law delivers to him, and Carl's after. Hits a bounding ball to second base. Mazeroski charges up with it, throws to first base in time, and Furillo is out. So Carl up there, first ball hitting, comes the first out in the second inning. The Dodgers send up Gil Hodges now, big right-hand hitting first baseman, who has belted them safely now in 12 consecutive ball games. Gil's batting average still hanging around the 340 mark. He's hitting at 338. Has 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Hank Boyle's down to put the sign to right-hander Vernon Law. Hodges gets his spikes ground in. Law comes in with an overhand curveball, and that's the sweeper that's outside and low for ball 1. Delivers 1-0. Soft curve floats in and over under the letters. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. We have verification on just 1 ball game. That's in the American League. The Yankees at Washington. Ball game has already started. The Yankees failed to score in the top of the first. Al Seacott for the Yankees, and it's Pasquale for Washington. Thank you, Alan. Pitch is swung on by Gil Hodges and hammered down into the ground foul. The second strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. News comes in now that Washington did not score in the last half of the first inning, so that first game between the Yankees and Washington, 0-0. Al Seacott, Emilio Pasquale, the opposing pitchers. Al Hodges, after having stepped away from the plate to get himself squared away, moves back in. 1 out for the Dodgers, top of the second. There is no score. Just getting underway nicely here in the first game of today's doubleheader at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Lucky Strike, very happy to be puffing it to you from Steel City. An overhand fastball ripped down to the right side. Mazeroski along the rim of the grass, reaches down, picks up, throws to first. That's got Hodges. 2 down as Mazeroski has been a busy guy here in the top of the second inning. Moving up to the plate now, Roy Campanella. Campy batting at .242, has 6 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Right-hand hitter, bent a little bit at the knees. Waits for Vernon Law, the tall right-hander, to cut the first pitch loose. Pumps 1 time, kicks and throws, an overhand curve, and Campy striding in, takes it high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Law comes right back to him, and Campanella takes that sweeping curveball, and it's at the knees on the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 down, no base runners, top of the second. The Dodgers at bat, Campy up there is no score. Law pitches him a fastball, and Campanella peels it foul off to the right of the plate. That'll go to the crowd out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Campy staying right in batter's box, waving that shillelagh back and forth. Law throws the fastball, fires it right through for call strike 3. So that winds it up for Brooklyn here in the top of the second inning. Campanella called out on strikes. That'll be the first strikeout for Law and his 12th this year. Oh, nothing across for Brooklyn in the second inning. So at the end of an inning and a half, it is the Dodgers nothing, the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. But you got something, Vin. What is it?
Well, we have the correct time. Here in Pittsburgh, 1:25, or as we say in New York, 25 minutes after 1. And that means it's light-up time. Time to enjoy the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Lucky Strike. Yes, sir, every time you light up a Lucky, you can expect just that. Better taste. And the reasons? Well, they're easy. A Lucky's all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Naturally mild tobacco that's good tasting to begin with. And then it's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. No doubt about it. That's why you'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Get a station break in right now. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodger games. And write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. Yours free for the asking. Be sure to give your name and address. Write Baseball WOKO, Albany, New York. 126 WOKO time.
All right, station break has been disposed of, so we can continue now. Last of the second inning. No score in the ball game. Sal Magley and Vernon Law. Gene Baker coming up, and here's Al.
Baker's hitting number 5 in the Pittsburgh order this afternoon at shortstop, batting at .268. He has 2 home runs and 16 runs batted in. He's a choke hitter, bats from a very severe crouch, keeps his feet wide spread apart, and has his chin right down over the rubber of home plate. Magley's fastball is cracked through there, and Baker takes it for a strike. Presents a very small strike zone area. Boy, he leans over. Magley ready to go. Delivers a soft curve. It's hit right down on one hop. Past third base, and it's foul. Baker, not believing the call by Dascoli down at third base. Charging right down to first, made his turn. Charging into second. Despite the fact that first base umpire Landis tried to stop him. Finally, Bill Baker, second base umpire, puts a halt to his forward charge down at second. Well, Baker comes all the way back. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. Now the crowd settling back. They thought Baker had drilled one. It was just outside third. Could have been foul more than a foot or so. Magley's ready. Comes down 0-2 with a curveball that drives Baker back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baker will be followed by Freeze, who is on deck right now. Curveball hit down on 2 hops to Reese. He's up with it, throws to first, and Baker is out. 1 away for the Pirates in the last half of the second inning. The batter now will be Gene Freeze, hitting number 6 in the Pirate order. Percentage stands at .235. He has 1 home run and 7 runs batted in. He's a right-hand hitter, plants his right foot first, and then gets the rest of his body set in just about a straightaway stance. Works up on the handle of the wood a couple of inches. Magley's curve finds its way in off the fifth. It's good on the inside corner for strike 1. Don Zimmer, expecting Freeze may try to bunt, as he did yesterday, playing up shallow at third. Magley sets. Ginrod's pitch. Freeze after it. It's a high fly ball to left field. Gino Simoli gliding around under it out there and hauls it down. Out number 2. Second inning. Tracks are still empty, and Bill Verdon, who has been dropped down to hit in the number 7 slot. Moving on. Left-hand hitting center fielder. Verdon batting at .204. He's really having a time of it. Last year, batting percentage rose quite high. This year he's been having trouble getting a base hit. Magley comes into him with a soft curve, and Verdon promptly hits it on a couple of hops to second. Gilliam charges, picks up, snaps his throw to first. Verdon is out, and so are the Pirates. Oh, very quickly, the Buccos go. Nothing across, score at the end of 2. It's the Dodgers nothing, the Pittsburgh Pirates have nothing. Vinny?
Well, friends, here it is Memorial Day, and of course that means in less than a month there will be thousands of youngsters heading into their summer vacation. Many of them will be going to summer camps. How about that youngster of yours, Mom and Dad? Does he like a camp where sports are highlighted? Where expert coaching in the sport of his choice help him get his letter next year? Does he like to swim or fish, golf, play basketball, tennis, baseball, football, or maybe even run track events? Well, if he enjoyed sports and you want him to be part of a well-disciplined, well-planned, competitive program, well, friends, honestly, you just couldn't find a better camp than Dodger Town at Vero Beach, Florida, where the full facilities of the Dodgers' wonderful training base with all the extra relaxations are put at his command. Drop a line to the Dodgers, 215 Montague Street in Brooklyn, and ask them all about Dodger Town. You know, there are only a few spots left on the enrollment ledgers, so be sure you send your letter right away. Dodger Town Camp for Boys, Vero Beach, FLA. I wouldn't mind kind of walking along that Vero Beach sand right now, just looking out at the ocean, watching those big white caps break.
Let that wet sand sort of ooze through your toes.
And then watching the sunset later on. I'll go quietly.
Come on, let's go.
Bye.
Stepping up to the plate now in the top half of the third inning, Pee Wee Reese. It's the last third of the Brooklyn batting order. Vernon Law comes in with the first pitch to Reese. It's slammed down to shortstop on two big hops. Gene Baker's got it. Fires to first base. Fondy, and that's all for Reese. One up, one down. This ball game, first of the doubleheader here this afternoon, seems to be sort of following the script of yesterday's ball game, which was so finely pitched between Klein and Padres. Don Zimmer coming up for his first whack at it this afternoon. With one out, nobody on in the third inning. Each side has just one base hit. Neither team has been able to score. Actually, there hasn't been a runner to third. Curveball is good. Zimmer for strike one. Pirates in the first inning had DeFondy moved down to second base. That's as far as anybody's been able to get. Soft curve swung on by Zimmer and missed. He chased a low one. That's strike two. No balls and two strikes. Tries the fastball, and Zimmer promptly hits it through the hole. Between first and second into right field for a single. That's the second hit for the Dodgers. Now with Zimmer at first base and one out, the batter is Sal Magley. We're waiting for Sal to come out of the Dodger dugout. Magley, as a batsman this year, has had just one base hit in 8 tries. He's had no runs batted in. Batting at 125. That's quite a kick out of Magley. He doesn't swing it for that bat. He sort of chops or tomahawks at a pitch. Asked him about that one time. He said, just so it falls behind the infield. He said, I'm in pretty good shape. He bunts this pitch, however, and DeFondy makes a sliding stop as he comes in, picks up and throws back to his second baseman, Mazeroski, covering. The sacrifice works. Zimmer goes down to second base. Fondy had to sprag himself and slide along the grass to stop up. Second out in the top third. Zimmer at second now, and we go to the top of the batting order to pick up Jim Gilliam. Jim flied to center in the first inning to Burden. So he's 0 for 1. Batting at 2.54, looking for his 41st base hit of the year. Law checks up with the runner at second, delivers, and Gilliam takes a let-up fastball, low and outside for ball one. Gilliam waving that wood around as a left-hand hitter against this right-hand pitcher. Delivers. There's a pitch low to Gilliam. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Don Zimmer, who runs the bases pretty well, is on at second in pretty good scoring position. They're 2 down. The Dodgers at bat in the top of the third of the scoreless ball game. Vernon Law going against Sal Magley. Law kicks the pitch loose. Gilliam after it. Lifts another high fly ball. This one to left center field. Frank Thomas coming over. He's under it and he takes it. Well, that's all for Gilliam and the Dodgers under threat in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit. The Dodgers leave their first man, and the score at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play remains the Dodgers nothing, the Pittsburgh Pirates have nothing. Speaking to us, Vin Scully.
Well, friends, when does a batter call a pitcher an Iron Mike? Well, it's when the pitcher is having an off day. When he's easier to hit than Iron Mike, the pitching machine. But you know, after the ball game, both pitcher and batter have the same name for genuine smoking enjoyment, for a genuine cigarette. And that, of course, is Lucky Strike. Why Lucky's? Well, here's why. You see, a Lucky is all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Mild, naturally, good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Have you tried a Lucky lately? Well, friends, if you haven't, you try one right now, and then you'll say, like all of us say, it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Just breezing along here in Pittsburgh. No score at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play. Sal Magley and Vernon Law. Second game, it'll be Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky. Now to the bottom of the third, here's Al.
The number 8 hitter in the Pittsburgh order, catcher Hank Foyles, will be coming up to the plate, batting at 266. He has 3 home runs for the year and has 10 runs batted in. Following Foyles, we'll have the pitcher Vernon Law, and then we'll skip off to the top of the Pirate batting order to pick up Bill Mazeroski. Sal Magley ready to go to work here in this 80-degree temperature, and it's a dandy day here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Hope wherever you are, it's just as pretty and just as pleasant. Sidearm curve to Foyles, the right-hand hitter is outside for ball one. Magley takes his sign. Over his head he goes, delivers another curveball. This one's hit on 2 hops down to short. Reese waits for it to come to him, then fires over to first in plenty of time and foils us out. 1 away in the last half of the 3rd inning. The batter now will be Vernon Law. As a batsman, Law is hitting at .400. He has 4 for 10. He has no home runs. He has 2 runs batted in. He flipped that ball pretty well for you. Tall, slender right-hander. As he steps up to the plate, he looks down to third base to see what Bobby Bragan might have in mind. Magley already has his sign ready to go to work as Zimmer crawls in from third. The pitch is under the knees to Vernon Law for ball 1. Following today's doubleheader with Pittsburgh Pirates, the sidearm curve, and that's over to knees for strike 1. Following this doubleheader, the Brooklyn Dodgers will climb on a rattler tonight and be headed for Philadelphia for tomorrow night's game from Connie Mack Stadium. Sidearm pitch at the knees, good for strike 2. The count on Law is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Then on Saturday night, the Dodgers play the Phillies again. That game will be TV'd right back to New York over Channel 9. Sidearm pitch swung on. There's a slow bounding ball down toward third. Hurrying is Don Zimmer, picked up, throws underhand, and it's just in time. Law is out. Second out here in the last half of 3rd inning. The bases are empty, and Bill Mazeroski comes up to the plate. Sunday afternoon, ball game between Philadelphia and Brooklyn, and on Monday night. There will be another TV right back to New York. Channel 9, one of the 25 road games being sent back by our 2 fine co-sponsors. Sidearm pitch to Mazeroski is a little high and a little outside for ball 1. The time of the ball games in Philadelphia, once to be televised, will be 7:55. That'll be on Saturday night and Monday night. Magley's sidearm pitch drives Mazeroski back to the plate. So Bill's count is ball 2. Magley taking plenty of time between pitches. One thing about this veteran, he really knows how to pace himself. Mazeroski waits. Sidearm pitch is outside, ball 3. Magley hasn't walked anybody, but he's in danger of passing Bill Mazeroski here in the 3rd inning with 2 down and the bases empty. Scoreless ball game as Magley fires low, ball 4. So the leadoff man walks. That's first base on balls given up by Magley. That'll be the 10th one he's put in the books this year. Coming up to the plate now will be Dee Fondy, who has the only hit given up by Magley. In the first inning with 1 out, Fondy hit a ball through the hole between first and second and into right field for a single. That upped his batting percentage to .341. Left-hand hitter, feet wide, spread apart, stands about midway in batter's box all the way around. Magley checks his runner, Mazeroski, delivers the plate. Fondy takes. The pitch is outside for ball 1. Mazeroski playing it right close to the vest at first base. Hodges holds the inside corner on him. Magley gets his sign and glares over at first. Now Mazeroski takes his lead. Magley to his set position. Delivers. Fondy swings and bounces it foul down to the right of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike on first baseman Dee Fondy. Had a long talk with Dee just before the ball game started, sitting down on the Pirates bench. He likes it here in Pittsburgh. Gives Pittsburgh his vote over Chicago. Big fella pumps that bat around. Likeable guy, this Fondy. Pitch to him, swung on. There's a line drive into right field. It's in for a base hit. Mazeroski moves down to second and holds on as Furillo's throw comes into Gilliam. So Fondy is 2 for 2. And with 2 down, the Pirates now have runners at first and second, and the batter is Bob Clemente. So the partisan Pittsburgh crowd here, Forbes Field, jumping up and figuring that maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates have something stewing. Bob Clemente coming up for his second at-bat of the afternoon. In the first inning, he tried to get away from a high inside curveball, and the ball hit the bat and tapped it back to the left of the mound, and Sal Magley threw him out. Bob's hitting at 284. Slender right-hand sticker. Mazeroski leads off at second base. Fondy at first. Pitch. Clemente swings. Hits it tight back at second base. Gilliam up with it. Throws to Reese on the short hop, and they've got Fondy. So that retires the side. Clemente forcing out. Fondy at second base. From Gilliam to Reese. So for the Pirates, a threat, and that's it. No runs, one hit. Coupled with a walk. 2 men were left on, and there were no errors. The score at the end of 3 innings of play. The first game of the doubleheader at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. The Dodgers nothing. The Pirates nothing. Gino Cimoli has the only base hit given up so far by... Correction, he has one of the 2 base hits given up by Vernon Law. Zimmer has the other. Gino Cimoli leading it off. He got the first base hit of the ball game. Gino batting at .342. Takes a high curveball off the shoulder for ball 1. Cimoli, Snyder, and Ferrillo in that order in the top half of the 4th inning. Scoreless ball game. And quite a pitching duel so far between Vernon Law on the mound now for Pittsburgh and Sal Magley. Curveball hit just inside third base. It's headed for the left field corner. Gino Cimoli's digging past first. He's on his way to second with those long strides. Thomas up. His throw comes into third. Cimoli has doubled. That ball was hit just fair inside third base. Well, Law's given up his third base hit. Cimoli has 2 of them. Duke Snyder coming along. Nobody out, top of the 4th. Cimoli leading off with a double. Ripped past third and down into the left field corner. Duke Snyder hit into a double play in the first inning. He's 0 for 1, batting at .265. Law delivers to him a soft curve, and it punched right up the middle into center field for a base hit. Cimoli comes to third. Herman says, keep on going, boy, and Cimoli comes in to score the first one. Well, Snyder singles to center field to drive in the first run of the ball game. Gino Cimoli coming across. That will be hit number 4, run number 1 off Law, and the Dodgers now lead it 1-0. The batter is Carl Ferrillo. For Snyder, there at first base, he has his 18th run batted in this year. 1-0 Brooklyn, top of the 4th inning. Carl Ferrillo is 0 for 1. He started the second inning rolling out to the right side. Batting at .327. Leans back from a fastball and takes it off the chest for ball 1. Lucky strike sent into the action. Forbes Field. And when it comes right up time for you, let's hope you're enjoying a lucky. Fastball hit down to the right side. Mazeroski's got it. Flips over to Baker for 1. He returns throw to first, a double play. That's the second double play the Pittsburgh Pirates have come up with. That'll boost their total now to 36. And that'll send 1,000 luckies to our VA hospital at Lyons, New Jersey. 4-6 to 3 on the double play if you're keeping score with us. The other 2 down in the 4th inning. The bases are now empty. Coming up to the plate is Gil Hodges. 1-0 in favor of Brooklyn. Cimoli led off with a double. Snyder singled him in. The first pitch is swung on. There's a high foul ball hit off to the left side of the plate. That'll fade to the crowd and go out of play. Strike 1 on Gil. Hodges was thrown out, his first at-bat, by second baseman Bill Mazeroski. He has a 12-game hitting streak on the line this afternoon, batting at .336. Law's waiting. Now he sets and pitches, high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. In rides the next pitch. A fastball. Little outside, a little low. Hodges started to go and changed his mind. 2 balls and 1 strike. O'Brien, an infielder, is down in the Pittsburgh bullpen throwing. Maybe that he'll come into the ball game for Pittsburgh. Somebody from the bench apparently is giving Frank Secoya, plate umpire, a little jockeying. Pulls his mask off and turns around, just looks into the Pittsburgh dugout. Now we're ready to count as 2 balls, 1 strike on Gil Hodges. Two down, the base is empty. 1-0 Brooklyn. Vernon Law bends that right soup bone. Curve is swung on. Missed for strike two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, back to Hodges. Swings on the pitch and sends a high bounder to second base. Mazeroski charges, grabs, flips to first. Hodges is out, and that retires the side. In the 4th inning, produces 1 run for the Brooklyn Dodgers on a double and a single hit back-to-back. Somoli leading it off, and then Snyder getting him in. There were no errors. Nobody left on thanks to the double play. Score at the end of 3.5 innings. First game, it is the Dodgers 1. The Pittsburgh Pirates have nothing.
Last of the 4th inning, 1-0 Brooklyn. Frank Thomas coming up, right back to Al.
Thomas has been up once today. He retired to side in the 1st inning, fouling out to Roy Campanella. Big right-hand hitter. Magley with 1 run to go on, delivers, and Thomas swings on it, gets a hold of it. There's a long jolt going deep to the scoreboard in left field. That ball is well hit out of this ballpark. Frank Thomas hits his 5th home run of the year, drives in his 20th run, and he really poleaxed that one. High up over the clock. The scoreboard in straightaway left field. That one all the way out on the Shenley Oval. Right out into the park. Oh, that's the second hit in the first run. Off Mackley. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. And here's Baker up there, backing off from a curveball that flips in and over for a strike. Baker 0 for 1. All tied at 1 apiece. Overhand curve is outside and low. Baker's count 1-1. And so the great leveler, the home run. The great equalizer. Magley comes down again. Baker starts to chase a low curve and then decides to take it. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Baker hitting at .266. Magley scowling down from the mound. Looks at this choke hitter. Delivers him a curve. That's low. Baker again started to go. Changed up in time. His count is 3 balls and 1 strike. So Frank Thomas home run. Here marks another 1,000 luckies for our VA hospital at Lyons. Magley's sidearm curve reached for and foul tip. That's strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Down in the Brooklyn bullpen, right-hander Eddie Roebuck up and throwing. Magley delivers 3-2. Pitch is swung on and hit down to Reese on 2 hot. The captain's got it. Whistles the throw to first base. Baker is out. 1 away in the last half of the 4th inning of a tied-up ball game. Gene Freese coming up for his second at-bat. In the second, he slides to left field to Gino Somoli. Freese batting at .232. Guess you just hooked up with us. The Brooklyn Dodgers had things break their way in the top half of the 4th when Somoli doubled past third into the left field corner and Snyder singled to get him home. There's the pitch to Freese. High inside, ball 1. And Perillo hit into a double play and Hodges rolled out to the right side. Going into the last half of the 4th inning, the Dodgers had a 1-run ball. Frank Thomas proceeded to lift one high and deep over the left field wall, scoreboard, and clock to tie it up. Inside curveball off the knees, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes now to Gene Freese. Freese waiting patiently. Magley ready to work to him. The 2-0 delivery. Soft curve in there for the strike. 2-1. 1 out out. The base is empty. Last half of the fourth inning. The Pittsburgh Pirates at bat. Here in the first game of the doubleheader at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Magley, a sidearm fastball. Swung on, hit back foul. What a catch made by a young lady sitting right down to the right of the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count on Gene Freeze. Bill Verdon hanging around to hit next. Magley ready. Veteran pumps just one time. Delivers an overhand curve that swung on and missed for strike 3. That's Magley's first strikeout. Two down for the Pirates, last half of the fourth inning, and the batter will be Bill Verdon. His bounding ball to Gilliam in the second inning closed up things for Pittsburgh and Frame, so he's up there now, batting at 202. Left-hand hitter. Magley works down to this young fella. Verdon leans and doesn't offer, and a pitch is in there anyway. No balls and 1 strike. Philadelphia and New York. 0-0. End of the first inning of their first game. Pitch, fix the corner. Knee high on the outside. That's strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Lucky strike. Very happy to be sending it to you from Pittsburgh. Low curve, swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the second strikeout. Sal Magley, and it closes up shop for Pittsburgh in the fourth inning, but not before they pick up a run to tie up the ball game on Thomas' home run. That was a hit in the inning. So no errors and nobody was left on. So the score at the end of 4 full innings of play. It's the Dodgers 1, the Pittsburgh Pirates have 1. Fine Schaefer day, we move into the top half of the fifth inning with Campanella coming up. Stepping up for the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company for the play-by-play, Vin Scully.
Thank you, Al. Hi, everybody. Campanella checks his swing, and a curveball bites off the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 to Roy, who struck out in the second inning, batting .240. A 1-1 tie in the fifth inning. Law back with a slow curve that's cut on a high foul, spinning back towards the net. Misses the net and goes back into the crowd, and a young fella in a striped sports shirt makes a one-hand catch. 0-2 the count. Campanella, Reese, and Zimmer, the way Brooklyn comes up here in the fifth inning of a 1-1 tie in the first game of 2. Law comes right back 0-2. Campy belted to left center field. Going over is Frank Thomas, and Bill Verdon is going to bounce over into the ivy up against the light tower. Verdon bobbles the ball momentarily. Campanella goes to second and then holds there. Gene Baker runs the relay back towards the infield. So Campanella rips one to deepest left center. Well over 400 feet away as it bounced against the ivy and then right into the corner where the light stanchion is. Tell you how far away it is, they usually put the batting cage out there figuring it will not be in the way, and that ball was only about 20 feet to the left of the cage. Campanella, a long double to left center. Hit number 5 off Vernon Law. Nobody out, and the batter, Pee Wee Reese. Pee Wee hitting 195, bounced out short to first in the third inning. He's 0 for 1. The outfield on Reese about straight away. Clemente is up a step or 2 and right. Law checks second and delivers, and Reese has to shy away from a pitch high and inside. Ball 1. Giants leading the Phillies at the end of 2 innings, 1-0. Andre Rogers hit the home run. He's probably playing third base. That was Bill Rigney's idea. Move out to Virgil to left field. 1-0 pitch to Reese is sliced foul way down the right field line, bangs off the upper deck facade and nestles down below. Washington, with their 3-game winning streak, and I imagine they should be proud of it. Gee, things have been going pretty miserable for Cookie Lavagetto and crew. Well, they've won 3 straight, and they lead the Yankees 2-0 at the end of 3 innings. Baltimore leads the Red Sox 2-0 at the end of 1 inning. No report of the other 2 games out west, Cleveland, Chicago, Kansas City, and Detroit. The 1-1 pitch to Reese, a slow curve outside and low. Ball 2. 2-1. Because of the time difference, nothing to report to you about the Cubs and Milwaukee and Cincinnati and St. Louis. We'll duck him in all day for you. 2-1 to Reese. Campanella at second base. Nobody out in the fifth inning of a 1-1 tie. Law comes to the plate, and Reese takes low. Ball 3. 3-1. just waiting at the plate. Law going to make him wait. Campanella, hands on his hips, inching away off second base. Law ready. Now the 3-1 pitch to Reese. Cut on a hot one to the hole and through for a base hit. Campanella goes to third. Clemente guns his throw, and he'll hold him at third. A one bouncer to the plate by Bob Clemente. So Billy Herman wisely holding Campanella at third. So Reese a single to right. Campanella goes to third and holds there. Reese, in going down the line, might have pulled a muscle in his leg, and he's giving way to Charlie Neal at first base. And Reese, showing disgust with the breaks of the game, kind of reaches down and picks up some grass, and with his head down, trots off the field. So Pee-wee pulled a muscle. He's not limping too much, but you know it's there. And he seems to be on the disgusted side as he comes back to the dugout. So Charlie Neal takes over, running for Pee-wee Reese. So Reese is out, hurting his leg. If we get any further report, he did not limp coming off, but apparently he pulled something. He felt something give. All right, runners at first and third, nobody out. Don Zimmer, the batter, who promptly swings and runs her back foul, 0-1. So Pee-wee, having a very bad spring, started late before he could get into the lineup due to injuries, and now here at Forbes Field, apparently pulled a muscle in his leg and gives way to Charlie Neal. The strike one pitch to Zimmer. He half waves at an outside pitch, but just does check his swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. They could move that infield around a bit. We'll wait and see how they do it. There are a couple of possibilities with Reese out. 1-1 to Zimmer. For pitch now, Don swings and fouls that one away. 1-2. It could be that Neal would play second base, Gilliam would play third, and Zimmer play short. Neal last year, remember, played a little bit of shortstop, so he could just take over for Reese. We'll wait and see. Nobody out, runners at first and third in the fifth inning of a 1-1 tie. Neal inching off the bag at first, Campanella from third. The pitch to Zimmer in the dirt and blocked nicely by Hank Foyles. 2-2. We owe a station break, so after Zimmer has had his at-bat, we'll duck it in. Hope you've ducked in plenty of Schaefer beer in the refrigerator to keep it nice and cold. 2-2 pitch to Don Zimmer. Cut on, a fly ball into fairly shallow right center. Clemente going over, Campanella tags. Clemente with the ball. Here comes Campanella. Here comes the throw to the plate. He slides. He's safe. The ball is backed up at the plate by Vernon Law, and down to second goes Charlie Neal. Hank Foyles tried to block the plate, and Campanella ripped right under him. The ball squirted away, and alert fielding by Vernon Law prevented Neal from taking an extra base. So Zimmer, a fly ball into right center to Bob Clemente for the out. Campanella tags up and brings in the run, and Neal advances to second base. So gives Zimmer an RBI. The run comes over. And it is 2-1 Brooklyn. No error on the play. Let's get that station break in. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
And your Brooklyn Dodgers station for the Capital District. WOKO, first in Albany, 1460 on your dial. Out in Indianapolis, at the end of 80 laps, 200 miles down the drain of the 500-mile race, Sam Hanks is leading out there for the 500-mile race crown today. Now back to baseball.
Magley sacrificed in the third inning. Swings at a pitch and doesn't get it, 0-1. Magley batting 125. He has one hit. So a double, a single, and a scoring fly ball, and Brooklyn breaks the tie and takes the lead 2-1. Fifth inning, 1 out. Law checks his signs with Hank Foyles. Now comes to the plate and a sharp curve. Cut on and missed, 0-2. On deck, Jim Gilliam. Law has everything his way now to Magley. No balls and 2 strikes. Vernon ready and delivers. Sal takes outside. Ball 1. 1-2. Lovely day today here in Pittsburgh. Warm but comfortable. Nice crowd on hand watching the beginning of a big doubleheader. Law ready. Foyle settles low back of the plate. The 1-2 pitch to Magley. A curveball outside. 2-2. Brooklyn 2 runs on 6 hits. The Pirates 1 run on 4 hits. 1 run on 3 hits, excuse me. The 2-2 pitch now to Magley. Cut on is a fly ball to right field. Clemente was shallow, has to go back and leap in the air and grab it. And Charlie Neal holds on at second base. So Magley hit the ball well and lines out to Bob Clemente in right field. 2 down, Charlie Neal holding at second base, and the batter Jim Gilliam. Jim started off the spring roaring, got up as high as in the 400 category, started to skid down to the 240s. Then out west picked up. He had 7 hits and 14 at-bats, got his average back up to about 280. And he's starting to skid down again. He's batting 252. So Junior really rides the elevator, especially early in the year. May is not a particularly good month for Gilliam. However, if he follows his pattern, he'll start to really get his base hits again in June. Junior takes a strike, 0-1. Gilliam with 10 runs batted in, has flied to center, flied to left. 0 for 2. Law comes set, a peek at Charlie Neal, the pitch to Gilliam, a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Meeting number 10 between these two. The Dodgers haven't taken 5 out of 9, but the Pirates have taken 3 out of 5 here at Forbes Field. The 1-1 pitch to Gilliam, cut on, hit off the thumbs and foul down the left field line upstairs. 1-2. Junior didn't get around on a fastball, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vernon Law and Sal Magley in this first game. Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky tabbed to do the work in the second. 1-2 pitch to Gilliam. High, ball 2. 2-2. We'll leave Pittsburgh tonight at about 11 o'clock or thereabouts. Spend the night on the train going to Philadelphia. Play Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and Monday night. 2-2 pitch to Gilliam. Jim swings and hooks her foul way down the right field line. That goes in the upper deck. Holding count 2-2. Gilliam just moving that bat back and forth. Law comes set, looks to Charlie Neal at second and delivers just inside. Ball 3. Hank Foyle's a mild dispute with plate umpire Frank Sikori. Full count now to Jim Gilliam. Charlie Neal running for Pee Wee Reese, who hurt his leg. Charlie down at second base. 2 out. Brooklyn 2, Pirates 1 in the 5th inning. Foyle's wig-wagging signs out now. Law gives him a reading. Picks off the one that he wants. 3-2 pitch to Jim Gilliam. Cut on is a high fly ball into shallow left. It's an easy play for Frank Thomas, just standing there waiting and takes it. In the 5th inning for Brooklyn, they put together a double, a single, and a scoring fly ball. 1 run, 2 hits. Leave 1 man. There were no Pirate errors until the score at the end of 4.5 innings of play. Brooklyn 2, Pittsburgh 1.
Now for the last half of the 5th inning and the infield changes for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Neal will go to third base, and Don Zimmer will move over to the shortstop, taking on where Reese leaves off. So that's it for the last half of the 5th inning. Foyles comes to the plate now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Dodgers lead it 2-1. Let's get right back to Vinny.
Well, catcher Hank Foyles batting .263, bounced out short the first in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. Magley ready, hooks him, and if pitch is cut on, a high foul to the left of the plate. That'll go back into the crowd. 0-1. Foyles has 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. The crowd gets a few giggles out of the race for that foul ball. Memorial Day 1957 here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Strike 1 pitch to Hank Foyles. Cut on, slice now, foul in the upper deck or first base. 0-2. Then the 3 innings in the only other ball game we can report on in the National League. Giants 1, Phillies nothing on Andre Rogers' home run. Well, the games in the American League starting. Washington leading the Yankees 2-0 at the end of 3. Baltimore 2, Red Sox nothing at the end of 2. Curveball low and outside to Hank Foils. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brooklyn 2 and the Pirates 1. The Dodgers 2 runs on 6 hits and the Pirates 1 run on 3 hits. The big hit, Thomas's home run in the 4th inning. 1-2 pitch. Foils swings and nubs are foul to the left of the plate. Count holds 1-2. Memorial Day, a day of memories. I bet you can probably think on a lighter side, baseball-wise, a lot of things that happened on Memorial Days in the past. Also, that 500-mile saucer at Indianapolis will get a workout today. The 1-2 pitch now. Magley slides it in there, and it's whacked right on by Charlie Neal and down the left field line. Gino Cimoli chasing it into the corner. Hank Foils on his way with a stand-up double. Oh, Hank Foils rips one by Charlie Neal, just inside third and down the line. So the Dodgers leading 2-1 and the lead in jeopardy. Foils at second base with nobody out, and Vernon Law the batter. The Dodger bullpen swings into action. Eddie Roebuck up right away. Vernon Law is a pretty good hitting pitcher. His average shows .364. He has 2 runs batted in. When Law first joined the Pirates a few years ago, and the Dodgers, of course, always have a habit prior to a ball game, like every other club, of watching the opposing team take batting practice. And the day that Vernon Law first pitched against Brooklyn, when he hit with the regulars, the boys on the bench were really impressed with him. He's a rangy fellow, bends slightly at the knees, but he's no automatic out up there, not by a long shot. Neal comes inside the bag at third as Magley comes to the plate. The pitch is bunted up towards first. Campanella's going to let the ball roll and picks it up, belatedly throws to first just in time. Roy started to go after the ball, and then it started to spin away, and for a moment you could just about read Campanella's mind. Maybe it's too good a bunt. Maybe I ought to let it roll foul. Then the ball hugged the chalk mine, and Campanella figured, better make the play, and he just did. So the sacrifice works. 2-4 from Roy Campanella to Jim Gilliam. Hank Foils advancing to third. 1 out, the tying run at third base, and the batter Bill Mazeroski, who has bounced out and walked. Mazeroski batting .202, and the Dodgers now crowd home plate. The infield moves in. Messrs. Hodges, Gilliam, Zimmer, and Neal. Magley looks over at third at Hank Foils, now works to Mazeroski, a curve that stays high and inside, ball 1. Young second baseman has hit 2 home runs, and he has 4 runs batted in. Magley trying to rub a couple of wrinkles into that baseball now while he turns and looks over at third. 2-1 Brooklyn, bottom of the 5th, 1 out, Foils at third. The 1-0 pitch to Mazeroski, low and inside, ball 2, 2-0. Mazeroski waiting, 2-0 the count. Magley takes his full windup. The 2-0 pitch to Mazeroski. Cut on a hot one to Neal, who holds his runner, throws over to first for the out, and then Hodges comes right back towards the infield to make sure Foils remain. So Mazeroski bounce out third to first. 2 down. Foils holding at third base. And the batter, D. Fondy, who is 2 for 2. Fondy both times singling to right. D batting .347. He hurt Newcomb and Brooklyn the other night when, as a pinch hitter, he blooped a single to center to drive in a big run that tied it up. The Pirates eventually won it in 11 innings, 3-2. Rangy left-hand batter, Magley ready to come to him, and the curve is cut on and missed for a strike. 0-1. I think if you poll the Dodgers, they would say about as fast a man in the league going from home plate to first base as this D. Fondy. Time called momentarily. Frank Sikori, the plate umpire, points out to the left field corner. Joe Becker going over to retrieve a baseball that got loose from the Brooklyn bullpen. 2 out, Hank Foils at third. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-1 Brooklyn. Fondy waiting with the count 0-1. Magley ready and comes to him. Curve, foul to the plate. 0-2. Magley taking time now. It's a big spot. Sal winds and the strike 2 pitch to Fondy. Outside, ball 1. 1-2. The infield, of course, with 2 out, back into normal depth. The outfield, and in particular Duke Snider, very deep. Snider's way out there. Magley winds, a 1-2 pitch to D, taken outside again, ball 2. So deuce is wild here in the 5th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Brooklyn leads 2-1. Hank Foyles holding at third. Magley ready. Now the 2-2 pitch to D. Fondy. Cut on, fouled away. Count holds 2-2. Magley just kind of wandering around out there at the mound. Looks to his outfield, now turns around. Sal looks over third, now ready. The 2-2 pitch to D. Fondy. Cut on is a high fly ball to left. Gino Cimoli is right there. It's an easy play. Whacks his glove and takes the ball for the out. So the Pirates are turned away empty-handed in the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit. They leave a man at third base. And the score at the end of 5 innings of play, Brooklyn 2 and the Pirates 1.
All right, right back to action. Let's get back to Vin.
Before we get to the action, we have some good news for all you boat lovers. Whether you own a rowboat or a yacht, the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company is sponsoring a new radio program entitled This Week in Boating. It's just the kind of show you boatmen have been waiting for. Summary of news, weather forecasts, tips and feature stories of the boating world. This Week in Boating, a 15-minute radio show beginning this Friday night at 11:15 and will be a regular Friday night feature. For all you boat lovers, remember, This Week in Boating at 11:15. Check your local newspaper for the station and anchors away. All right, 6th inning. 2-1 Brooklyn, and Cimoli takes a strike. Gino has a single and a double, batting .348. Gino, prior to today in his 6 games since returning to the lineup, hit at a .400 clip. Swings now and is a high fly ball to center. Verdon charging it, still coming on. She drops in for a base hit. So, as the ball players say, Gino's living right. Gets his 3rd hit, a looping single to center. And it's hit number 7 off Vernon Law. Brooklyn leading 2-1. So Cimoli with a single, a double, and now a bloop single to center. That brings up Duke Snider, who has hit into a double play and single to center to drive in a run. Duke batting .271. Law comes set, checks Cimoli and delivers, and Snider takes way high, ball 1. First of 2 games. Second game, it will be Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky. Law throws over to first. Cimoli did not have a big lead. Gets right back. 1 ball, no strikes. The count to Snider. Law again throws over there, and Gino's back. Snider takes a look at a balloon that's way high, ball 2. 2 to Snider. 6th inning, Brooklyn 2, Pirates 1. Vernon Law comes set, looks to Cimoli, delivers. Snider way out in front of that changeup. Boy, he almost came out of his uniform. 2 balls, 1 strike. Giants 1, Phillies nothing at the end of 3. Only other game underway in the National League. Stuck in what we have in the American League. Washington 2, Yankees nothing at the end of 4. Baltimore 2, Red Sox nothing at the end of 3.
The 2-1 pitch to Snyder. Another pitch is belted high and deep to right field. That one's going to go over and out. A home run for Snyder. Over the right field screen and back into the crowd. So the Duke has listed one. His 9th home run. He now has 20 runs batted in, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. So Law, after changing up and making Snyder look so badly, came back with another change-up, and the Duke was waiting. It's 300 feet down the right field line here at Forbes Field, but then they have not only the wall, but a high screen atop it. Snyder's drive cleared everything and went right down an exit gate. So the Duke's second hit, 3 RBIs for him in this ballgame. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1 in the 6th inning, and the batter, Carl Perillo, was bounced out and hit into a double play, batting .325. Law delivers, and Carl takes a strike. 0-1. So Mr. Magley will have a little bit of breathing room now. 4-1 Brooklyn. Law right back again 0-1, and the breaking ball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of America's oldest lager beer, wishing you the very best on this Memorial Day, wherever you may be. Hope you're doing just what you want to do. 1-1er is cut on and fouled away, 1-2. I think on holidays, especially a day like today or July 4th or Labor Day, crowd booing in the background, a park policeman chasing the foul. I think with so many people off, we ought to tip our hats especially to the policemen and state police and Port of Authority men who do such a great job untangling those traffic jams, huh? 1-2 pitch is way high, ball 2, 2-2. Well, I mean, those fellas who are stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel, the Battery Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, on the George Washington Bridge, they do a great job. Really need them on a day like today. 2-2 pitch now to Frillo. Cut on is a high fly ball to left center. It's pretty deep and in the middle. Over goes Burden on the run. Crisscrossing is Thomas, and it's Burden for the catch. So Frillo a long out to left center. 1 down. The batter, Gil Hodges, who twice, since the Pirates are pitching outside to him, tried to go to right, and twice he's bounced out to Mazeroski. Gil batting .333, and one of the big reasons why he's been hitting so well is his almost newfound ability to consistently hit that outside pitch. Law ready and delivers. Hodges takes a half swing and checks the pitch up high. Ball 1. 1-0. Gil so many times would get in trouble up there at the plate by taking the outside pitch on the corner, but now he's going after it and doing very well. 1-0 pitch. Gil runs up and bunts and hits it sharply foul outside of third. 1-1. Oh, Hodges coming back to hit again. 1 out here in the 6th inning. 2 runs are over for Brooklyn thanks to Snyder's home run, his 9th, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. Hodges just waiting at the plate. On deck, Roy Campanella. The 1-1 pitch to Hodges now. Full swing on a curveball. He doesn't get it. 1-2. Brooklyn 4 runs on 8 hits. No errors. The Pirates 1 run on 4 hits. No errors. Dodgers have had a home run hit by Snyder, and Frank Thomas hit one for Pittsburgh. 1-2 pitch to Hodges. Curve cut on and hit slowly wide of third. Over into the hole comes Baker. His hurried throw is not in time. So Hodges legs one out for a base hit into the hole at short. That is hit number 9 on Vernon Law. 1 out, and the batter, Roy Campanella, who has struck out and doubled. Campy batting .247. Comes to Campanella, who swings late and hits it in the up deck boxes on top of the roof. 0-1.
Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1. 2 runs over here in the 6th inning. 1 out, Hodges at first, and the count to Campanella, no balls, 1 strike. Well, ready and comes to the plate, and Campy takes too low. A puff of dirt signals it was in the dirt, 1-1. Campy has 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. A sign of the summer, a little ladybug come flying in the booth. 1-1. Pitch to Campy now, down low, ball 2, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Law comes set, takes a peek at Hodges, now delivers, and Campanella takes low and outside, ball 3. Oh, Vernon Law in trouble. Trailing 4-1 to Brooklyn. Hodges at first with 1 out, and he has fallen behind to Campanella. 3-1. There goes Hodges. A hot one down to Mazeroski, who's over to cover the bag. Feeds to Baker. A high throw to first is still out as DeFonte makes the tag on Campanella. Oh, they get the double play. Mazeroski was breaking to cover as Hodges was going on the pitch, and the ball was hit right at Mazeroski. He fed to Baker, and Baker's high throw to Fonte was still all right as D made the swipe tag. 4-6 to 3. So the Pirates now have come up with 3 double plays thus far in 6 innings. For Brooklyn, 2 runs, 3 hits, a big blow Snyder's home run with Somoli aboard. Nobody left on. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, Brooklyn 4 and Pittsburgh 1.
Down to the last half of inning number 6. The Brooklyn Dodgers are leading at 4-1. Clemente coming up for the Pirates. Is all ready, Vin?
All set, Al. Before the play gets back in, though, before it interfere with it, seeing that ladybug. Remember when you were a kid, let's see now, you weren't supposed to step on an ant because it would make it rain, remember?
That's right.
We had another one in the city that if you stepped on the cracks in the sidewalk, you'd break the devil's dishes.
Never heard it quite that way.
Yeah, that was a New York thing for kids. Okay, bottom of the 6th, here's Clemente. Magley's curve is cut on, little looper, right near the bag at second. Gilliam is there to take it, and quickly 1 out. Summers coming in. Just thinking about that, thinking about Dodger Town Camp for Boys, too. All the fun that youngsters have down there. You can drop us a line at 215 Montague Street. Well, what a spot for youngsters. Frank Thomas, the batter, has fouled out and hit a home run. As Al pointed out, he really jolted it over the scoreboard and over the clock. Frank takes a slow curve in for the strike, on 1. Frank has 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in, and an average of .324. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Brooklyn. Magley comes back, and a curve is grounded wide to third. A nice stab by Charlie Neal, who makes his play. Charlie not only had to cover ground going to his left, but the ball did not come up for him. At the last second, he really had to short hop it, digging it out of the dirt. 2 down. If you've just joined us and you say, Charlie Neal at third, well, that's right. Don Zimmer's at short. For Pee Wee Reese, who started the ballgame, got a base hit in the 5th inning and pulled a muscle in his leg and had to give way. 2 out. Here's Gene Baker. Twice he is grounded out. Swings. There's a high fly ball into left field. It's high but not too deep. Samoli's there, shading his eyes, and takes it for the out. So a rather easy inning for Sal Magley. Sets him down 1-2-3. And at the end of 6 innings of play, Brooklyn 4 and the Pirates 1. All right, Al, we're waiting now for catcher Hank Foyles to get his gear on and come on up. While we have a chance, let's pause the station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodger games. And write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games both at home and away. It's yours free for the asking. Be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO, Albany, New York.
All right, 7th inning. Charlie Neal, the batter. Vernon Law spins the pitch and gets it high, ball 1. Neal coming up for his first at-bat now. He's batting .273, has a home run and 4 runs batted in. Law right back again. Charlie checks and the pitch is down low, ball 2, 2-0. Charlie Neal followed by Don Zimmer and pitcher Sal Magley. We're in the 7th inning. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1. Vernon Law winds and the 2-0 pitch. Neal swings and fouls her back. 2-1. Law checking signs.
Neal just waiting. Vernon winds, and the 2-1 pitch to Charlie Neal. Cut on and fouled away. 2-2. Brooklyn with a run in the fourth, one in the fifth, and two in the sixth. The Pirate run came in a home run by Frank Thomas in the fourth inning. 2-2 pitch to Charlie Neal. Cut on, a bouncer slowly to second. Mazeroski up with it, throws to first in time, and Neal is retired 4-3. One up, one away. Second game, we'll see Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky. Don Zimmer has single to right and a scoring fly ball to right. 1 for 1. That's to get down and away from a high inside fastball. Ball 1. Zim batting .237. 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Law back to him 1-0. Zimmer swings and misses. 1-1. Don using a bit lighter bat now. He had a new set made. Bats now weigh around 32, 33 ounces. 1-1 pitch. Slow curve cut on is a high fly ball into left center. It's an easy play for Verdon. Right there, waiting and takes it. 2 up, 2 away. And we're waiting now for Sal Magley to make his way. Sal puts on his helmet. Out he comes. He sacrificed in the third inning and hit the ball well and lined out to Bob Clemente in right field in the fifth. Gets a round of applause as he comes up. Magley batting .111. 1 for 9. Vernon Law ready and comes to Magley, and the pitch is cut on and missed. Strike 1. When the Pirates bat in the bottom of the seventh inning, they'll have Gene Freese, Bill Verdon, and Hank Foyles. Back again. Magley swings and pops it up. Third baseman Gene Freese calling, waiting, takes it. So, quiet seventh inning for Brooklyn. 1-2-3. Score now at the end of 6.5 innings of play in this first game of 2 today. Brooklyn 4 and the Pirates 1. And they are standing here at Forbes Field for the Bucks when they come up to bat. But right now, let's all sit quietly and listen to Al.
Throws that Dixieland jive again, Mr. Scully.
Oh, those hot licks.
Yes, sir. Take me down to Basin Street and cool me off.
Well, I've heard take me out of the ballgame a lot of ways, but I've never heard of Dixieland. It's wake you up.
It'll do something to you. I don't know what, but it'll do it.
Well, we find out about the last of the seventh now. Gene Freese, the batter, tries to bunt in the air. It drops foul untouched. 0-1. Gene flied to left and struck out, batting .229. The Washington Senators, with their 3-game winning streak, and they're leading 4-0 at the end of 5 innings, got a tough break. Pitcher Al Cicotte of the Yankees hit one back and hit pitcher Camilo Pascual. Pascual had to leave the ballgame, relieved by Bud Byerly in the 6th inning. Strike 1 pitch to Gene Freese, cut on and missed 0-2. And the thought of a pitcher being hit by a batted ball reminds us of the pictures in the newspapers of Herb Score being out of the hospital. Certainly wish him well. Boy, he must be quite a fella, huh? 0-2 pitch to Gene Freese, cut on and line down the left field line. It's starting to hook and go foul. 0-2, the count to Gene Freese. They don't expect Herb Score to be in uniform for quite a while as yet. Be another week, 10 days before he'll even try uniform, and they don't expect him to pitch for about a month. But at least the big fella's out and around. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1, bottom of the 7th inning. Gene Freese, Bill Verdon, Hank Foyles. Magley ready in the 0-2 pitch. Freese swings and a bouncing ball stabbed backhanded by Magley, who throws him out. A nice play by Sal, going sharply to his right. So Freese retired 1-3. Bill Verdon, the center fielder for Pittsburgh, has bounced out and struck out. Bill's average is really shrinking now. He's down to 201. Bill, a fine hitter, had a great year last year, much, I guess, to the embarrassment of the St. Louis Cardinals. Having trouble getting squared around. He has 1 home run, 12 RBIs. Magley bends at the knees, gets a sign. Now Sal ready and comes to the plate. And the change is just low, ball 1. Magley giving you the impression he's just pushing it up there. 1-0. Sal back again 1-0, and the pitch is grounded right at Gilliam. Jim up with it easily after going on his right knee and throws him out. So Burton goes down 4-3. 2 up, 2 away. Catcher Hank Foyles bounced out and doubled sharply to left. Got around as far as third in the 5th inning, and that's where he saved. Brooklyn leading 4-1 in the 7th inning, 2 out. Foyles batting .271. Catcher swings and fouls the first pitch back, strike 1. The F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn sending you all the proceedings on a big day from Pittsburgh, Memorial Day. Second game, Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky. Hope you're just comfortable right now if you don't have to move around too much. Strike 1 pitch to Foyles in there, 0-2. And if you're planning to have some cold Schaefer to keep you company, and we certainly hope you are, hope you have that half-quart can where you don't have to keep jumping up and down for a refill. Strike 2 pitch, Foyles cuts on it. There's a high fly ball into shallow right. Brillo coming over, still over to his left, Zamora now, and takes it for the out. About 20 feet fair inside the right field foul line. So Mr. Sal Magley is starting to get the range now. Has retired 9 men in a row since Foyles doubled to open up the 5th. And at the end of 7, Brooklyn 4 and Pittsburgh 1.
It's to the top half of the 8th inning. And the first Brooklyn Dodger up will be Jim Gilliam. Score standing the Dodgers 4 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 1 in this first game of a doubleheader from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Vin's all ready, so let's pick up the action.
Jim Gilliam, to lead it off, is 0 for 3. Fly balls to center and twice to left. Junior batting .251. Law's fastball below his knees, ball 1. This for Big Vernon will probably be his last inning of work. He's due up first when the Pirates come to bat in the bottom of the 8th. Law ready and the 1-0 pitch. Junior takes inside, ball 2, 2-0. Gene Freeze playing on the grass inside third. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1. We're in the 8th inning. Vernon Law winds, and the 2-0 pitch to Gilliam, taken for the strike, 2-1. Brooklyn up to this moment, 4 runs on 9 hits and no errors. The Pirates 1 run on 4 hits, no errors. Law back again. Gilliam swings and fouls it away. 2-2. Control has been very good on both sides today. Vernon Law has not walked a man. Sal Magley walked 1. The beauty yesterday, Johnny Padres and Ronnie Klein. Brooklyn won that 1-0. Law flicking his glove at Foyle's signs. Now he's ready. 2-2 pitch. Cut on is a hot one on a bounce right to Mazeroski. Stays with it, makes his play. So Gilliam hits the ball sharply, but right at the second baseman. 1 out in the 8th. Gino Cimoli with 3 hits today, 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. And the pleasant young man from the San Francisco Bay Area now has a .353 batting average. Gino with that overly close stance, just waiting. Law ready and delivers, and Cimoli shies away. The pitch is inside, ball 1. Cimoli waiting. Now the 1-0 pitch to Gino. Cut on is a hot one, grabbed nicely by Gene Freeze. His throw to first is in time. Oh, I guess the scales always balance out. Cimoli got a base hit on a little looping fly ball to center in the 6th inning. This time he ripped one, but right at third baseman Freeze, and he goes out. 2 down in the 8th inning, and the batter, Duke Snyder. Snyder hit into a double play in the 1st inning, single to center to drive in Cimoli in the 4th, and hit a home run to deep right field with Cimoli aboard in the 6th. Snyder batting .276.
Law delivers, Snyder swings a high drive way out into right center field. That's hit a mile. Clemente to the wall and grabs it, and that's over 400 feet away. Boy, that's a long out. So, Mr. Sid Snyder, who is of a especially happy frame of mind the last few days with his lovely wife Beverly making this little trip with him, goes 2 for 3 and jolts one to deepest right center that Bob Clemente hauls down right at the base of the wall. So Brooklyn goes out 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, and at the end of 7 1/2, Brooklyn 4, Pittsburgh 1.
Sitting over here visualizing.
Boy, I got an imagination. Woo! Well, Paul Smith coming up now, batting for Vernon Law, tries to bunt and fouls the first pitch away, 0-1. Paul Smith, S-M-I-T-H, utility outfielder, left-hand batter. Hitting for Vernon Law, bottom of the 8th, Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1. Smitty batting 279. Magley ready, right back to him with a curve and misses high, 1-1. So it will be Paul Smith and Bill Mazeroski and Dee Fondy. Magley getting a sign from Roy Campanella. Sal straightens up, comes to the plate 1-1. The curve cut on and missed, 1-2. Smith stumbled in the hitter's box. Spikes caught, so plate umpire Frank Sicori polishing off home plate. Magley winds, and the 1-2 pitch to Paul Smith outside, 2-2. The 1-1 tie at the end of 6 innings, the Phillies and the Giants. No score at the end of 1 inning, the Cubs in Milwaukee. The Cardinals are leading Cincinnati 1-0 at the end of an inning and a half. The American League, Washington leading the Yankees 4-0 at the end of 5. Magley ready and delivers. Smith swings a hot one to the hole. Over there is Zimmer. He's up with it. His long throw in time, and Paul Smith is retired 6-3. Detroit leading Kansas City 1-0 at the end of 1 inning, and Baltimore making things rough for the Red Sox. Baltimore 5 and Boston 1 at the end of 4. No report yet. Cleveland and the White Sox. Further report at the end of 2 innings, the Cardinals 2, Cincinnati 0. Dodgers trailing Cincinnati by a game and a half. Batter Mazeroski, and Bill takes a pitch down low, ball 1. Mazeroski batting 200. Twice he has bounced out and walked. Magley comes back 1-0. Mazeroski takes low again, ball 2. 2-0. Big day of baseball. Everybody in the majors playing double headers, so we'll be keeping a close check on all the scores throughout the afternoon. 2-0 pitch to Mazeroski. That's high, ball 3. 3-0. Walter Austin sitting in front of the Dodger dugout on the top step right next to the bat rack, watching Magley's every move. The 3-0 pitch to Mazeroski down the pipe, 3-1. Pitch to the plate in there, full count. 3-2 to Bill Mazeroski. On deck, Dee Fondy. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the 8th inning. Brooklyn 4, Pittsburgh 1. Sal Magley ready, and the 3-2 pitch. Curve cut on is a high fly ball to deep left. Samoli going back, away back to the ivy wall. Turns and grabs it. Right at the wall. And I'll tell you, Samoli had an idea all the way. He just kept looking at the wall with his back to home plate, then turned at the very fringe of the black dirt track that goes around the ballpark, caught it right against the wall. Long out. Magley gave you the impression that time that he's just not going to walk Mazeroski. He came right in with it, let the little second baseman hit it just about as far as he could. 2 out, here's Dee Fondy, batting .344. Dee is 2 for 3. Magley's changeup is outside, ball 1. Fondy twice singled to right and flied to left. On deck, Bob Clemente. The 1-0 pitch to Fondy at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Magley bends at the waist to get his sign. Now the 1-1 pitch to Dee Fondy. Cut on is a hot one up the middle. That's a clean base hit. That is the first hit for Pittsburgh
since Hank Foyles doubled in the 5th inning. Magley in that time had retired 11 men in a row, and now Fondy singles to center with 2 out, and here's Bob Clemente. Clemente, quite a favorite here at Pittsburgh. He's kind of on the spectacular side. On any fly ball, he kind of runs around out there like a kid chasing a bee. You get a big kick out of him. With the bat, he's hitting .280. Hit back to the box, hit into a force play, and popped up. Fondy at first, 2 out. Magley set, comes to the plate, and Clemente takes a strike, 0-1. The Dodger bullpen, Clem Labine, begins to loosen up. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 1, bottom of the 8th. Magley comes set. Now the strike 1 pitch. Clemente swings right through it, 0-2. Clemente turns and says something to Frank Zicori. Now gets back in. Magley in no hurry. He's waited a long time for this start. He's making the most of it. The 0-2 pitch to Clemente outside. Ball 1. 1-2. Magley's last start 20 days ago on May the 10th. You remember a Friday night against the Giants. He pitched 4 innings. Lost to Ruben Gomez 2-1. Sal turns on the rubber, takes a peek at first, and comes set. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball just outside. Clemente of a mind to swing, check. 2-2. Big Frank Thomas on deck. Gilliam has overshifted way over to his right, so there's a big gap on the right side of the infield. Magley delivers. Clemente takes outside. Ball 3. That one backhanded by Campanella. So Magley now, after retiring 11 men in a row, with 2 out in the 8th inning, Fondy singled. He has now gone to a full count on Bob Clemente. Clemente gets on. Magley has to face Frank Thomas, who hit a home run in the 4th inning. Magley set. 3-2 pitch. There goes Fondy, and it's foul back. Brooklyn 4 runs on 9 hits. The Pirates 1 run on 5 hits. Clemente walks out of the batter's box. Wants a towel to dry off his hands. It's a pleasant day here in Pittsburgh. Blue skies and white clouds. The breeze has picked up a bit, blowing from right center, slanting across the left field foul line. Clemente might very well have gotten something in his eye. Now the on-deck hitter, Frank Thomas, takes a towel and kind of looks at the orb. ORB means eye?
Yep.
All right, Bob's all right. Here he comes. Full count to Bob Clemente. D. Fondy holding on at first, 2 out in the 8th. Brooklyn 4, Pittsburgh 1. Magley staring in. Campanella wigwags a sign out to him. Sal's ready. Fondy will be going. There he goes. The 3-2er is cut on. It's a line drive slicing to right field. That's going to be high and off the screen. Fondy is heading for third. Trillo throws into second. Fondy comes to the plate and scores on a double by Clemente. Clemente sliced a line drive halfway up the screen in right field. That chased in Fondy. Clemente sliding into second with his double, and it is now Brooklyn 4, the Pirates 2. Still 2 out in the 8th inning, and the batter, Frank Thomas. So Magley has now given up 2 runs, 6 hits. And he has the 2-out blues here in the 8th. Smith had bounced out, Mazeroski had flied out, and Fondy singled, and Clemente doubled him in. And here's Thomas. Thomas fouled out, hit one over the scoreboard and the clock in the fourth inning for his fifth home run. Last time up, bounced out third to first. So the Pirate folks here in the stands waking up and a little hand clapping as a background. Magley comes set now, delivers to Thomas, who swings a hot one into the hole through for a base hit. Clemente is around third, will score, and Scully throws into second, and it's getting tougher. Magley is now in a jam after breezing along through 7 2/3 innings. With 2 out in the 8th, gives up a single to Fondy, a double to Clemente, a single to Thomas, and it is 4-3 Brooklyn. Walter Alston going out to the mound as Gene Baker will be the batter. Levine continues to throw in the bullpen, and it could be that Magley will be taken out right now. Sal just breezing along, and kabloom, the Pirates start to whack away at him. Alston looks to the bullpen, looks again, and says, now I want Levine. So while Levine comes in to relieve Magley, Dodgers leading 4-3. Frozen Al tells us about all the other ball games on our Schaefer scoreboard.
All right, Ben, the Philadelphia Giants, their first game of the doubleheader at the end of 7 innings, all tied at 1 apiece. Simmons for Philadelphia, and for the Giants, it is Ruben Gomez. Boucher and Rogers have each hit home runs in that first game. Cincinnati and St. Louis at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play. St. Louis 2, and Cincinnati has 1. Joe Nuxall pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. Willard Schmidt going for St. Louis. Thurman had a home run in the third with the bases empty for Cincinnati. Chicago and Milwaukee at the end of an inning and a half. There's no score. It's Drutt going for Chicago and thrown for Milwaukee. Round of applause here as Sal Magley comes off the hill. Now over in the American League, the Yankees in Washington at the end of 6 innings of their first game of the doubleheader. Washington has a total of 5 runs. The Yankees nothing. Al Seacott started for the Yankees. Terry came on in the 6th inning. That's Ralph Terry. And Washington, Pasquale started, was out of there, hit by a batted ball, and Byerly relieved in the 6th. Lemon a home run in the 5th with 1 on for Washington. His 6th of the year. Cleveland and Chicago at the end of an inning and a half. It is 0-0 for Cleveland daily. For Chicago, it is Donovan. Baltimore and Boston at the end of 4 1/2 innings of play. It is 5-1. Baltimore over Boston. Art Ceccarelli for Baltimore. Stone started for Boston. Porterfield in the 5th. Kell a home run in the 1st with nobody on. His 4th of the year for Baltimore. Kansas City, Detroit, their first game of a twin bill. At the end of 1 inning, Detroit leads Kansas City 1-0. Thanks to Harvey Keene's home run in the 1st with nobody aboard. That's his 2nd of the year. Tommy Morgan going for Kansas City. For Detroit, it's Duke Mark. Well, that's everything right up to the minute. We have some changes here. Let's get back to Vin.
Ray Mejias, who's a speed merchant down at first base, running for Frank Thomas. Rangy left-hand batter Bob Skinner is coming up to hit for Gene Baker as Clem Levine takes over for Magley with 2 outs. And time called for a moment as Frillo is receiving a ball in right field that got away in the Pirate bullpen, where both O'Brien and also Face are loosening up. Buddy Pritchard now loosens up. He's a young shortstop. He'll be taking over for Baker. 4-3 Brooklyn. 2 out in the 8th inning. Mejias at first. Levine in relief of Magley. Bob Skinner batting .314. He has 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. So what was a pleasant 7 2/3 innings for Magley finally exploded, and he had to come out. Levine comes set, looks to first and delivers, and the curve is outside, ball 1. Levine has 3 wins and no defeats against the league. He has saved 5. He is asked to save a 6th. This is his 18th appearance this year. Clem Levine, back of him, Don Besant in the bullpen. Levine set on the 1-0 pitch. Skinner takes a curve down low, ball 2, 2-0. It was a very quiet beginning of the 8th inning. Smith batted for Law and bounced out, and Mazeroski flied out. Then Fondy singled to center. Clemente doubled off the screen and right to chase in Fondy. And Thomas singled to left to chase in Clemente. So it's Brooklyn 4, Pirates 3, still 2 out. Levine turns and throws to first to keep Mejias near the bag. Levine comes set. The 2-0 pitch to Bob Skinner. Curve over for the strike. 2-1. So the elusive final out in the 8th inning has been tough to come by.
Considering that Magley had not pitched in 20 days, he did surprisingly well today. Ran out of gas with 2 out in the 8th. Levine set. Clem delivers 2-1 to Skinner. A sinker, cut on and missed. 2-2. Deuce is wild with 2 out, and so are the Pirates. They've scored 2 in the 8th. Brooklyn 4, Pittsburgh 3 in the first of 2. Sandy Koufax and Bob Perky in the second game. Levine comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball low, ball 3. After Skinner comes third baseman Gene Freese. Elroy Face throwing in the Pirate bullpen. As we said, Besant in the Dodger pen. Levine squeezing that ball, trying to age it. Bob Skinner batting for Gene Baker. 3-2, 2 out. Throw to first. Mejias ready to go. Has to get back to the bag. We'll have a cold shaper and stay right with us. This one's still in the air. Levine set. Mejias goes. The 3-2er is cut on and grounded foul. Right by first base coach Danny Murtaugh. Magley worked 7 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits. He walked just 1 man and struck out 2. Mejias at first base is Magley's responsibility. Levine set, takes a peek. Mejias goes. A 3-2er cut on, fouled away again, so the tension mounts. Looking over at first. Hodges not holding with the left-hand batter up, and with the count 3-2, he's directly back of the bag and ready to jump back to a normal depth. Big Skinner waiting. 3-2 the count. Levine comes set. The 3-2 pitch. Mejias goes. It's cut on. It's a high fly ball to right field. Perillo going back to the wall, turns and grabs it. That had him standing here at Forbes Field. As Bob Skinner flies deep to right and Perillo hauls it in near the wall. In the 8th inning for Pittsburgh, 2 runs. All with 2 out on 3 consecutive hits. A single, a double, and a single. 1 man left on. So at the end of 8 innings of play, the score, Brooklyn 4, the Pirates 3.
Change for the Pittsburgh Pirates as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Perillo will be the first batter. Picking up the changes. They don't give them all to him.
Well, Paul Smith, who batted for Vernon Law, is now in left field. Ray Mejias started to go out. He got past the infield, and they called him back. So Paul Smith remains in the 9th spot in the lineup and in left field. Walter Alston going out to check with Frank Sikori to see how Bobby Bragan going to play his men. Smith, of course, having hit for the pitcher, must remain in 9th spot. Buddy Pritchard has taken over at short, and the pitcher is Elroy Face. Now, what Alston wants to find out is whether Pritchard will hit after Face or before him. And he has found out. It has not been announced over the public address system. We'll take a little guess and say that Pritchard will hit in the shortstop spot and that Face would hit ahead of him. Maybe we can find out now. Here's the announcement. Yes, there it is, and we guessed correctly. First time this year. Face will be in the cleanup spot, then Pritchard 5th and Smith 9th. Carl Perillo, then Gil Hodges and Roy Campanella in the 9th inning. Brooklyn 4 and the Pirates 3. Elroy Face delivers and Perillo takes a strike. 0-1. Carl batting .322. So if you're keeping score, your lineup should read this way. Mazeroski, Fondy, Clemente, Face, Pritchard, Freese, Verdon, Foyles, and Smith. The strike 1 pitch to Perillo is cut on and fouled away. 0-2. When the Pirates bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, they're due to send up Freese, Verdon, and Foyles. So Vernon Law pitched 8 innings, gave up 4 runs, 9 hits, did not walk a man, struck out 1.
Face's replacement comes back 0-2, and the pitch is cut on as a high fly ball to deep left field, starting to go foul. Paul Smith over in the corner, leans up against the wall and grabs it for the out. Paul Smith going beyond the Dodger bullpen, right into the corner, up against the base of the bleacher wall to grab it. So Ferrello fouls out to the left fielder, 1 out. Gil Hodges twice bounced out and singled to short. Gil batting .338. Face winds and delivers to Gil, who takes a strike, going 1. The Dodgers saw Face the other night in that 11-inning ball game when the Pittsburgh Pirates defeated Brooklyn 3-2. Face was the winner. He is 2-3 with the lead. Elroy back 0-1. The pitch cut on and missed 0-2, and Big Hodges going all the way around. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 3, 9th inning and the first of 2. Face winds, a strike 2 pitch. Hodges takes, low and outside, ball 1. Don Besson continues to fire away in the bullpen in the event that Levine might stagger, pitching to the Pirates in the bottom of the 9th. Face delivers 1-2. Hodges checks his swing, and the curve is low, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Face getting a sign now from Hank Foils. 2-2 pitch to Hodges. Cut on and miss, strike 3. So Face strikes out a man. The Dodgers have gotten on the quiet side as far as their bats are concerned. Last 9 men have gone out in order since Hodges singled in the 6th. Campanella hit into a double play, and then 1-2-3. So with 2 out in the 9th inning, Brooklyn leading 4-3. The batter is Roy Campanella. He struck out, doubled, hit into the double play. Campy batting .245. Face delivers, curve low, ball 1. So there'll be a lot of noise in the bottom of the 9th, so get your cold shaper, stay comfortable if you can, and we'll find out about this one. The 1-0 pitch to Campanella. Curve cut on and bounced down to Mazeroski, who's up with it cleanly, turns and makes his play. Okay, the last 10 Dodgers in a row have gone out. The end of 8.5 innings, Brooklyn 4, Pirates 3. We'll find out about Messrs. Freese, Verdon, and Foils in just a minute or so. But right now, let's see what Al has on his mind.
Maybe a ball game going here, too, huh? Last half of the 9th inning. Vin, you all ready?
Well, we'll see now. Brooklyn 4 and the Pirates 3. Clem Levine, who has not been feeling too well of late, has a big assignment now to keep the Pirates quiet in the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to save this one for Sal Magley, who pitched very well for 7 2/3 innings and then ran out of gas. Magley allowed 3 runs and 7 hits, walked 1 and struck out 2. Levine had to get the last out in the 8th inning and is now taking dead aim on the 9th. He'll be pitching to Gene Freese, then Bill Verdon, and the catcher Hank Foils. Freese has flied to left, struck out, and hit back to the box. Gene batting .225. Okay, the last of the 9th is here. 4-3 Brooklyn. Levine goes to his windup now. Freese waiting. The first pitch is sinker down low, ball 1. And this crowd, which had to more or less sit quietly through 7 innings, really had something to cheer about in the 8th, and they're now kind of quiet in anticipation here in the 9th. The 1-0 pitch to Gene Freese. Curveball in for the strike, 1-1. This is the first of 2. The second game, it will be Sandy Koufax pitted against Bob Perky. The outfield swung around towards left. Charlie Neal is up a step, just about even with the bag at third. The 1-1 pitch to Freese. Fastball, a line drive at Hodges. So Freese hits a line drive right at Hodges' left hip. Gill just snares it for the out. 1 down. That brings up center fielder Bill Verdon, who was bounced out second to first, struck out, and bounced out again. Bill batting .200. Levine winds, comes to the plate. Sinker cut on and fouled away. 0-1. Schaefer Beer delighted to send you all the excitement from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh Brooklyn 4, Pittsburgh 3. Their 10th meeting of the year. The Dodgers, having taken 5 of 9, Pirates have taken 3 out of the 5 played here. 0-1. Combined to his windup, the strike one pitch. Cut on and squirted away foul right off the end of Verdon's stick. 0-2. Bill with 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. Now the strike 2 pitch to Bill Verdon. Cut on, a bouncer down to second baseman Gilliam, who's up with it cleanly, makes his play. 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. So Bill Verdon in this series with Brooklyn thus far, and he is a man the Pirates count heavily upon to get those base hits. Verdon against Brooklyn went 0 for 11. The only time he get on base, they gave him an intentional walk. So it's a big man to keep quiet. 2 out in the 9th, here's Hank Foyles, who has bounced out, doubled, and flied to right. Foyles batting .268. 2 out, bottom of the 9th. Brooklyn 4, Pirates 3. Levine ready and delivers, and Foyles takes a strike, 0-1. The end of 3 innings, Cardinals 2, Cincinnati 1. At the end of 2 innings, no score, Cubs in Milwaukee. The end of 9 innings, a 1-1 tie, the Phillies and the Giants. Levine ready, the strike 1 pitch. Foyles swings a high, slicing fly ball, going foul down the right field line and back into the stands. That had them standing here, 0-2. The American League, the White Sox leading Cleveland 2-0 at the end of 2 innings. A 1-1 tie, Kansas City and Detroit at the end of 2. It is 5-1, Washington over the Yankees at the end of 7. And 5-4, Baltimore over the Red Sox at the end of 5. 0-2, the count to Hank Foyles. Levine trying to nail it down for Magley. Comes sidearm with a curve, and there's a high pop fly into shallow right field. Gilliam backing out, turns, grabs it for the out, and the Dodgers win it 4-3. So Levine saves his 6th ball game of the year in relief, saving this one for Sal Magley. The Dodgers win it 4-3. There'll be about a 15-minute intermission, boys. Have your Cole Schaefer light up a lucky, and now to get the totals from Al, let's jump right over to him.
Here are the totals for the Dodgers. To win it, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They had 2 men left on. Big home run hit by Duke Snider, his 9th of the year in the 6th inning. He's driven in 3 runs. He drove in 2 with that home run. Magley wins it. His record is now 2-1. And as far as Pittsburgh's concerned this year, 2 wins, no losses. The Pittsburgh Pirates had 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They had 5 men left on. The losing pitcher is Vernon Law, whose record is now 2-2. And he's 0-1 now with the Brooklyn Dodgers.